Why is it said some people had or have great vision? Why do some people have great vision and pursue the lonely, long, painful, and risky as to outcome path to what they think will be the best way to be happy? Whether it's wealth, financially speaking, whether it's impact upon people, what have you. Knowledge created, say. Why do some have this great vision and others not? Is it simply something you can conjure up? Like the phrase, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Is it courage? Is it, quote, great confidence? Is it a great track record that makes you feel confident? Is it praise? Is it guidance? Is it, quote, genetics? Are you simply lucky? Is it what you might call no reason at all, as if there's something called spontaneous combustion, a fire out of nowhere or a universe out of nowhere? Is there no cause-effect at all? Well, it strikes me in part those with great vision are those who can muster far better than average capacity to reason. In other words, their logic tells them that it's a better bet than most people can conjure up without logic in terms of confidence level. Where does logic come from in turn? Philosophically, you would say, as a philosophy student studying logic, the symbology, the premises involved. But what about better logic also in terms of your vocabulary? Logic, yes, with symbols, logic with mathematical precision or mathematics in general, but also one's words. The better the words as to framing especially people the most beneficially, the most optimally, well then the better our grasp on reality, I believe, and in turn our confidence level, and finally pursuing our vision, thick and thin, to include not quitting along the way. For many say, give advice in the writing realm, amongst others, admonishing writers not to quit, many having quit just on the verge of success. They may have had vision, but it faltered and they gave up. So why do some give up, if not, in my opinion, for a lack of sufficient logic capability and optimal words used to frame reality, and by the way, with these words optimally used, grease the rails, so to speak, for the best human relations possible. For without the best words, I believe we have the poorest of respect for both self and others, and it results in what you may either call narcissistic wounding of some, or euphemistically spoken, sticking your foot in your mouth, and later regretting it, often not being easily able to retract it too. Hence the fear, in turn, of what they call burning your bridges. Saying something in verbal or written form that you wish later you hadn't said because your words in particular were not optimal for the best of human relations. And once something said very injurious to someone's self-esteem, very hard to correct. Unless, of course, you can correct the words used in society and what came from your mouth. Les Brown, for instance, the motivational speaker, once said in a very short video, the minute you open your mouth, people know who you are, especially how you view them, and I would say in turn, how they feel from what you've said. Words non-optimal mean insults, as we typify that today to be. And we all know what happens on news channels when two different parties have discussion and the words fly. Maybe if there were better words, there would be less acrimony and sparks. Applying, though, in general, overall in life. I would also say, in addition to better mathematics, better logic, and better words, what about using writing in general and better reviewing? Reviewing being critical because without review, our minds, some say, are like sieves. Danny Iny, in particular, who spends much time helping people create courses, has talked of this. I-N-Y is his last name's spelling. And Pyotr Wozniak, I'm not sure of the pronunciation of his first name, has a PhD in computer science from Poland, is now about age 62, and he created 20, 30 years ago a software program that was quite spectacular in its field for spaced repetition. And he believes that without computer software, we were basically in the dark ages concerning the efficiency with which we could review mass amounts of data in any field, including, I would say, the people areas, not just tech areas, business areas, etc. So he, for instance, tried learning English with simply flashcards, and he found it a very cumbersome task because he was reviewing things in a very inefficient manner as to how often to review the topic per card. When he created software, it spaced out the repetitions of any particular item or topic so that it was reviewed a lot at first and then less and less as time went on. And he claims that this increased the efficiency of which both how much he remembered long term and how much he could apply this to magnificently, to the point he claimed this can create geniuses simply by using his software long term. And then he wrote a book, in fact, on the application of this to creating geniuses. The title of the book having that word genius in it. These comprise thus why I believe it is urged not to quit and to have great vision and the payoffs that can result, as well as why I believe so few wish to pursue questionable areas as to payoff statistically. They lack, I would conjecture, hypothesize these tools. They lack what it takes to hang in there the long term and learn and accrue the learning because of a substandard degree of knowledge of mathematics and logic in turn. Are words the most succinct, the most clear, and the most respectful and accurate concerning people thus. Writing capacity in general to record things down on paper for clarification and review, and finally the tools for review. Pyotr Wozniak, again, citing how important it is to be efficient in review, and Danny Iny in particular saying review in general is very important. Combine these last two factors in general together, that being very critical in my mind, why some people learn a lot from experience and why some people learn very little, and why in turn it is said most businesses fail. And a critical element being how many people start a second, third business or fourth business, and do these two fail? To include YouTube channels, blogs, etc. Many blogs failing, and podcasts too for that matter, the first time out. Thoughts here.